Hi everyone, and welcome to today's edition of the Philly Boots Rugby Roundtable as part of the Lions Origin series, brought to you by our good friends at Canterbury. And today we've got the chaps from Crewe Nantwich RUFC up in Cheshire. How are we, gents?
Great,
absolutely brilliant.
Lovely. Thanks for getting up some time. Andy, do you want to just give us a bit of background on yourself?
Yeah, so Andy Pemberton, the vice chairman of the club. Been at the club all of my life, from mini rugby through to senior rugby, coaching. Coached at an age group from under sevens through to senior colts, and then with men's senior rugby first team, assistant coach, and I now forwards coach with the women's team as well.
Fantastic. Thanks for coming on.
You're welcome.
On the show. And Nick, do you want to just introduce?
Hello, everybody. Nick Kennedy. I came over to the UK back in '93 as a college student at Reseat, and I used to get dragged out of my dorm bed on a Saturday morning and dragged up to Crewe Nantwich to play rugby, where we had great banter, great crack as students. I've been around the club since then. I've been in a head coach role for the senior men, senior women, the junior colts, and now I've moved on and with the push from Andy Pemberton into the director of rugby role.
Andy, do you want to just give us a bit of background about the club?
Yes, so the club's been around since 1922, so we celebrate our centenary next season, 22-23, the season after that. We started life at playing out of the Red Lion before moving around Crewe Nantwich for a bit. Played at White House Lane in Nantwich at the cricket club, and then in '96 we moved up to Vagrants Park, Newcastle Road, and joined the sports facility there, and we've been there ever since. So we boast 3 senior sides. We've got a thriving mini junior section, must be about 300 odd kids that play in that, which is boys and girls. We have got a good first team, good second team, sociable side, like I say. We've got a women's team that are doing really successful at the moment, and a development squad with those as well. And we're just about to kick off an academy this year, which Nick will tell you a little bit more in a moment, hopefully, where we're going to try and develop under 16s through to under 18s, 19s, lads and girls, to feed into the club.
Brilliant. So yeah, Nick, tell us about the academy.
Basically, the academy, every year we struggle with numbers. You know, when alcohol boys and girls are found and they all start to disappear a little bit, and we can't keep them attention on detail, so the numbers dwell. And to run an under 18s and under 17s and under 16s team, you need 24 players minimum. And our numbers start around 30, and then they slowly but surely dwindle. So we thought this year we'd get them all together and really give them an experience to try and gel everybody together. So I kicked off last night for the first night, and we had 65 players down. So we were able to get a load of coaches in different areas and highlight different specifications for each player, and really look at, becoming a force in the neighbourhood. So fantastic response from the boys, fantastic response from the coach. Dan Lynch is leading it. He captained the first team a few years ago as well. So we've got a really good crew in there, and it looks fantastic. And it's all about progression. It's retaining these players, keeping them in our club. And, we do have leaks away with, distractions of college and uni and girlfriends and everything, as I've said. But we want to get them into the senior team. So we've got a brand new head coach, James Lamar, who is really progressive, and he wants to help out and do the same warm-ups with the Colts, the academy, boys and girls. This is, by the way, not just boys. and they will have the same calls, the same moves. So that progression up, and the senior players are going to assist and help in the warm-ups as well. So they get to know each other. The whole club, we are a community, and that's what we, fill your boots in a grassroots club. That's what we want to be. We are a grassroots club, and it's all about the community for us.
Brilliant. Absolutely, I couldn't probably put that better myself. We should probably end the whole thing there. So how has the last 12 to 15 months affected the club?
Well, you go for it, Nick.
As a director of rugby, getting taken on the role, I've never done it before. So to walk into doing risk assessments, whether we're allowed to touch the ball, not touch the ball, allowed to be in contact face to face for more than 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 10 seconds. He touched that pad, he didn't touch that pad, he didn't register. I had no idea what all these committee members do. All them years I was playing, I had no idea what they were on about. Oh my God, I'm getting payback now. It's the way the rugby community's pulled together again, and the help and assistance we've got from other clubs and from the RFU has been fantastic. But not only that, is how resilient all our players are, and our mums and dads, and just to let them stand by us and support us has been brilliant. For me, it's been a headache in that administration role, but from a heart and from commitment and what people have turned around and offered has been amazing.
Yeah, you learn guys who got skills within the club to take away the responsibility and do that, and they're not just doing it for themselves. They're doing it for whoever turns up to train and take part in the activities. You can't thank those guys. For guy Cliff Christie, who's part of our committee, he's a referee. He's updated all our risk assessments, and whenever there's been a development from the RFU, he's gone away. He's done a risk assessment, amended it quickly, so then we can get that down to the playing side, to the boys and girls that have been playing, so that then they can play safely, and then that gives them confidence then to come down and take part in training. Because the pandemic kicked off 18 months ago, and I don't think anybody could really take in what was going to happen and how much it affects people's confidence, and with how close can I get, and will I catch it? I'm going to get poorly. So the safe systems we put in place. We did the track and trace. We did all of that. There's been no player to player cross transfer of the disease as far as we're aware. So what we've put in place has worked really, really well.
Excellent. Glad to hear it. It seems like you've got sort of everything under control. So the reason why we're here is to chat about one of your Lions Origins players, and the fact that you are a Lions Origins club. There are 681 Lions Origins clubs up and down all over the world that have provided support or a place to play for over 800 Lions now, including Tom Curry, who came through Crewe Nantwich probably not that long ago, because he's not that old. And if you want to find out more about whether your club is a Lions Origins club, head to the Lions or the Canterbury website, check out the map. And if you think you should be on there, drop them a line, and they'll make sure you can class yourself as a Lions Origins club. So Nick, what does it mean for the club to be a Lions Origins club?
Unbelievable, inspirational, motivational. I had the pleasure of bringing my young lad under 11 down to Twickenham against USA, and I said, "What are you wearing?" He said, "I'm wearing my Crewe Nantwich top just in case Ben can see me." The two of them, just inspirational for our young lads coming through and what you can be, and it just shows that any grassroots club can produce a world-class player. And that's what the legacy these boys have left for us. And there's others that have gone in their wake as well. But it just shows you, if you're hardworking, determined, you can make it all the way to the top. And none of us are going to say we had an inspiration in it and what we did and what we didn't do. But I think as a community rugby club, we all assisted, from the car park to the groundsman to everybody, just to give them a fertile place to grow. I found their dad, Dave, playing in the third team at Crewe Nantwich when I was coaching, and I said, "What are you doing down there? Get up to the first team." And the engine that man has on him is unbelievable. So I can see where the two boys get it from. He only asked me ever to coach once, so I've only got one coaching story, and that was unfortunately the morning after Ireland won the Grand Slam in 2009. So I was a little bit worse for wear when I turned up, but you could tell them two boys were tearing up the grass, and they loved running at each other. I had a headache, and they were giving me a headache watching them run at each other. They were phenomenal. They even stood out then. So they're just an inspirational to everybody. It just shows you what you can do when you put in hard work and graft.
So I coached with them in the under sevens. So they're 23 and my lad's 21, and so he came down probably a couple of years before he should have been there to play rugby. And he was fortunate enough to be in the same age group. He was 5, they were 7, for a season. And so I have got a bit of a stake of a claim there that I did say run at that cone and run at that cone. Not just me and them, my brother Chris. We helped to coach together. So his boy and my boy were in the same age group for a bit. And as Nick said, they had both of them, Ben and Tom. They were so enthusiastic and loved playing rugby. They had a big mop of hair, they had big shirts, big shorts, and they ran at cones, they ran at people, and they always did it with a smile. There was, and so skillful, with whatever they did. And they showed all that all the way then through the age groups. From under 7s through to under 16s, they did that all the way through, and there were no hairs or graces. If the cones needed picking up, they picked up the cones. If the water bottles needed filling up, they filled up the water bottles. So they were just well grounded, down to earth boys. And like the family are good people.
And that was the other thing. Dave really kept them grounded. They did linesman, they picked flags up and everything else. And I do remember on that morning with my hangover that Ben scored a hat-trick and celebrated and quickly got subbed. We don't do that on this pitch. We do not do that on this pitch. And he was off. So Dave kept them well and truly grounded, and you can see it in them today. You know what I mean? It's that respect, isn't it, all the way through. So, yeah.
How brilliant is it that you've got one brother out in up at the moment, and then one tearing it up at Twickenham on the same weekends? It must be, as you've already said, it's a proud day for the club, but it must just be unbelievable to see both of them playing top-level international rugby.
It is, and you always root for them both as well. Then watching against Sale, it's just nice to see them and going to watch them. We're going to watch them down at Salford. If they see you, when they come around the pitch, they always come over and have a chat. So my brother Chris he's been there with them and chatted to him line side. So they always remember and they always talk. Last year, the year before, we had a charity game down at the club for Mind charity for one of the guys that unfortunately since passed away, Sam Telfer. And they came down and came and watched the game. And then afterwards, in the bar afterwards, mingled with everybody there from the kids all the way through to the vets. They were there, they were chatting, taking part in the auction. Offering some kit and memorabilia, and that just shows where the heart is. You know what I mean? And when you see those guys run out at Twickenham or in South Africa or wherever, you always think it's a little bit Crewe Nantwich that's running out with them. You know what I mean? They've run in our paddock. So there's always a bit of that. Very proud, very proud.
That sentence there is going to be the teaser video that goes out before the rest of it. That's absolutely brilliant. But it's not just Tom who is a Lion. You had a hand in Mark Plato's career, 2005 Lion, and Andrew, you were saying off camera a little story.
So he probably doesn't remember it, but I remember. So a few years ago, he played. I think it was in the same age group as one of the Potts brothers, and at Crewe Nantwich before Marcus went off to higher levels. And I remember going to Bowden with to have a run out in the Bowden sevens, and I don't know why, but I took my boots. I had, I'm a loose head prop, but I took my boots for a game of sevens because I was quite mobile as a prop. But and one of the Potts brothers goes, "There's that Mark Quater. He's not very good, he isn't." And then he scores about 35 tries and got player of the tournament. But it was quite funny at the
time. Brilliant. So sort of back to now then. How's training been over the last now since we've been able to? Have you been able to get people back on the pitch and have a run around?
What do you reckon,
Nick?
Yeah, we've had a fantastic response. We've had, as I said, we had a new coach, James Lamar, who is complete old school. He went out and there was no touch allowed prior to warm up. It was straight out, straight into drills, straight onto pads, straight onto physicality. And he pushed the lads, and how they responded and have done for the last 3 weeks of this preseason. They're going to be the fittest they've ever been. We only got 3 pukers on the first night, and it's coming down slowly.
That might be the teaser. I think that's going to be the teaser now.
But what I loved about it was he's got the respect of the lads straight away. He's had the band with the lads straight away. But at the end of the session, right, lads, you're not professional. Put all the kit away. And he just turned on his heel and walked off the pitch. They tidied everything up and put everything away. And that's what rugby's about, isn't it? The New Zealand mantra, sweep the sheds. And this is why I love the game. That's what it's all about for me.
Yeah, and from a women's point of view, so we're now training 2 nights a week, a Monday and a Wednesday. We get around about 30 women down training with all abilities, and we're putting them through their paces, ready for their competition at the start. So and we've got some really good players, so we've got friendlies lined up in early August. So myself with Sean Williams, Josh Arnold, who coached the guys, and the captain Katie Asbury and Molly Latham and Lucy Goose. We're with and Laura Williams. There's a good management group around the women, and they're very organised. They embrace the rugby environment. And they really take that, they take it seriously, and it's the training. We've been training pre-season now for 3 weeks, and the enthusiasm from everybody is fantastic. So yeah, from a club perspective, we're going in the right direction, which is fantastic.
Go on, Nick.
Just to top that off, I've talked about the senior men. He's talked about the senior women. The Academy Colts came back last night, and as I said, there were 65 kids out there, and we are going to be a force to be reckoned with, because one of the things Andy's alluded to earlier on about, RFU and Cheshire trials and stuff, you might need to go to a bigger club, and you might need to do this, and you might need to do that. Well, the Curry boys didn't, and they made it all the way to the top, and our lads are going to get everything that they need to grow and progress as players, athletes, human beings, and we're going to send them out into the world, and that is our mission this year. And the junior girls will start back, I think it's next Wednesday as well, so we'll have a full complement, and then our mini and junior section. And as Andy said, we're up to about 300 kids at the moment, and to come down on a Sunday morning and see that running around is fantastic, because it gives you such motivation. As a coach, you don't really get a full understanding sometimes, because your head is so buried in it. But when you come out and you see kids smiling and laughing and joking and giggling away, and that's, again, what is it all about? It's a sport. It's fun. It's meant to be entertaining. And we've definitely got that back through the club now. It's fantastic.
And it is trying to get all of those senior players to go down to Colts, to go down to the Minis and help out their coaching. Just get around with their club tops on, so the kids go, who's that guy walking there? Or that's the first team prop, that's the first team skipper, or that's the second team fly half. And then they see that, and then that encourages them to come down on a Saturday and a Sunday to watch the men and women play. In '97, I have to get it in there, and I haven't mentioned it yet. We got to Twickenham, and that was just a massive, massive thing for the club. And that's still remembered around the club, because I don't let people forget. and to walk around with your club top on, and people say, "Who's that player over there?" Well, that's that lad who went and played at Twickenham, you know. So it's brilliant. It's fantastic. You make sure that gets on that website.
And Sean, if you're ever passing, if you buy him a pint, he'll tell you the full story.
I've got the video. It's on Betamax, but I've got the video.
It's black and white pictures, is it not?
I'll be there. So what does the rest of the summer look like for the club on and off the field?
At the moment, pre-season flat out, loads of people going on holidays, loads of things coming together, getting more people down, slowly but surely introducing people back in. We're doing it in phase stages and everything else. But I know as of from Monday, it's gloves off and we can go back full hell for leather back at each other, which would be amazing to get scrums and line-outs and everything going again. For pre-season, we've got our first cup match on the 28th of August for the first team, and then the second start their league the week after. And then, as you know, it just snowballs and Christmas comes around and we've got bubbly hats on again and we're drinking mulled wine. So happy days. Roll on the new season.
A few socials as well. So we all met in the pub, socially distanced, last Saturday to watch first England, and then we watched the Lions afterwards. And what we're hoping to do also now if the COVID restrictions are starting to lift, is hopefully get a few of the old players down, a few of the old Colts down, so that we can watch the first one of the tests and enjoy it. Hopefully Tom's selected to play, and we can all reminisce and shout at the screen as soon as he touches the ball. So that's something that we're looking forward to do, is to put a few socials on.
And we'll get shouted at Pembo if we don't mention our firewalk.
Oh, crikey!
Are you doing it?
I don't know yet. I've got to. So we're doing there's a charity firewalk down at the club. I think that's the 11th of September off the top of my head. So our secretary, George Richards, has pulled this together. She's done a really good job. So there's a firm, and I can't remember the life of me for the name of the firm, but they're going to set up a firewalk for sponsorship for charity, and we've got people coming down to do like this, I don't know, once in a lifetime thing, to walk on hot coals, and mind over matter. So that's on the 11th of September. There's a women's game beforehand. Hopefully there's a blokes game beforehand as well. And we'll try and make it a big rugby club atmosphere, so we can kick off the season as a means to go on, in confident, buoyant mood, having some fun, watching some rugby, having a laugh and having a drink.
Sounds perfect, doesn't it? It's the perfect day, isn't it? It's the perfect. Probably apart from the walking on the hot coals bit, it's pretty much perfect, isn't it?
Yeah, you could say
I'll sponsor you, Sean, if you want to pop down. There's no problem.
Fortunately, I'm busy that day. I've got a game that day. Our season starts that day, so I'm told. So where do you see the club in the next 6, 12, 18 months, Nick?
For me, we've got a fantastic group of lads in the senior. I know the ladies as well. They're really strong. They are putting in a development team out this year. I think the ladies will be there or thereabouts in the top of the table at the end of the year, really pushing from promotion once again. And I'm really interested in development squad that these other players, fringe players, are getting week in, week out games and getting a good 80 minutes. And not only that, is senior players playing out of position and trying to develop their awareness of the game and all other, athletic prowess that they can provide in it. The academy, I just can't wait to see this kick on. I really, really can't wait to see this kick on, because there's so much work on end, so much enthusiasm. I do have to bring a notepad with me every time I go down now to try and keep up with the information that's coming from there. It's absolutely brilliant. And the senior men, the group of guys we've got there, and the passion and heart they're putting in at this moment in time, with our new coach and defensive role, following on from John Farren and his attacking role, we're just going to have the perfect yin and yang for a game of rugby. So we'll be pushing promotion this year and next year again. So that's my prediction.
So finally, before we get to the sort of the last question, which is very much Lions based, I've got to pay those things called bills. And Canterbury, who are very kindly putting these on for us this summer, they have a new jersey that you can get customised. It's very much inspired by the Lions. It's called the Riona. It's got the same collar. It's got everything. Exactly the same as the Lions are wearing down in South Africa. And if you're a Lions Origins club, you can get the patch sewn in at the bottom, and you can show it off, show everyone in rugby circles that you are one of the 681 Lions Origins clubs. And if you go to Canterbury.com, play with their customizer, it's good fun, even if you're not buying it. All the links are in the bios and the descriptions of all of this. So yeah, check out Canterbury.com. And finally, then we'll start with you, Andy. Just give us some of your favourite Lions memories over the years. Favourite player, entirely up to you.
So I think the first Lions tour that really sticks out to me was South Africa '97. I think it was. It was the same year we got to Twickenham.
You got to Twickenham. You got to Twickenham.
We did, yeah. We played Harpenden, but back to the line. So
that could be another podcast.
Yeah. So it was a good friend of mine, Mike Parker. He lived in a house in Nantwich, a nice little front room. He was the only man in the club that had Sky. So he had about 20 guys in his front room every Saturday watching the Lions, and we had some good drinks watching the Lions from from 10 o'clock in the morning, although kickoff wasn't until 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And then we would spill out into town, and we had such the camaraderie. It was just what Crewe Nantwich was all about. Then you fast forward to I would say the New Zealand tour, probably 16 years ago. I was talking to my mate, and he'd been to New Zealand. Dan Potts been to New Zealand, and he'd seen what New Zealand rugby was all about. And he goes, "We're not going to win a test," and he was right. But we were in the pub from, I would say, 5 o'clock in the morning for our sponsor, the Boot and Shoe, till 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night. There was another memory, and then from there, the Lions parties from Crewe Nantwich have just been great. Australia, when a few friends flew out to Australia after one of the tests, one of the warm-up games, and then they watched all of the tests. And while we were in the Boot and Shoe, and then last year when it was 4 years ago when it was with New Zealand again, we filled up the Wickstead pub, our sponsor. We filled up the Vine with supporters watching the games, and it was trying to run around Nantwich early in the morning at 5 or 6 o'clock to see which pub was going to be open to watch it. And it was just the atmosphere it brings, and then you see all of that, what happens with the Lions, and then that's a good recruiting tool for us as well, because people say, "Oh, you're from Crewe Nantwich." Oh, I'll come down, or they'll bring their kids down, and then they come and watch or come and play, and it's just great. You know, my family have all played rugby. Me and my brothers, Martin and Chris, coached by my dad. Rugby's is a massive part of our life, and now it's part of our kids' life. All of my brother's kids play rugby, all my kids have played rugby. So it's massive part of our life, and the Lions just puts the icing on the cake for me. It's brilliant. Can't fault it.
Wow, lovely! That's absolutely brilliant. We've done, this is number 6 or 5 or 6 of these, and everyone's given a moment. O'Driscoll, Jason Robinson, Jeremy Guscott, but you've summed up the Lions in literally a minute. It's getting together, it's watching the games, it's creating those memories that will stick. You knew where you were in '97. You knew where you were in '01. That to me, that is absolutely brilliant. So Nick, top that.
I'm not as familiar with the pubs in Nantwich. I know the churches more. St. Anne's and St. Mary's would be the two I frequent most. But I would...
Ansels and Budweiser.
two of the biggest ones for me would have been this line, Brian O'Driscoll when the South Africans decided to soften us up rather than play rugby against us. And this series already, we had nothing in the matches, and then the other night they softened us up again. They went to us, and we're going to have step up to the mark. And I think that when Brian O'Driscoll knocked that lad on his arse, that brought everybody together. And that I remember that very distinctive at the time, and thinking, wow, he's brought everybody together on that. And then the other one, which I'll never forget, was at a wedding in Kilkenny, and we got up early to watch the last test against New Zealand, and they had that penalty kick in the middle of the park, and the pub was packed at 7 o'clock in the morning with bacon rolls and pints of Guinness. And I was furious with my dad because I said, he's got a kick for the corner, he can't take the kick. And 300 guys turned around, shut up, you dickhead. So yeah, I remember the passion. We'll take a half against New Zealand all day long. But you know, I'm an optimistic fullback, and I will always run it if I ever get a chance. So that's why I never got picked for the Lions. But I'll finish with that one.
Absolutely brilliant, chaps. It's been absolutely brilliant to speak to you. I look forward to coming up for that beer very soon. Where can people find you on social media, Nick?
Andy, that's not my domain. Hey, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we've got our webpage. Say again.
Pitch Hero through that. Yeah.
Pitch Hero, yes, sorry, yeah. So, I'm good at all things rugby and agricultural, but web pages are not my forte.
CreweNantwich.com on Facebook, Crewe Nantwich Rugby Club on Pitch Hero, Instagram, which we're on there. If you search as Crewe Nantwich Rugby Club, it's the big one in the headlights. You know, you want to look at that one.
And if you look up finals from '96 Twickenham, you might find it's there as well.
Yeah, 97.
Sorry.
Chaps, absolutely brilliant. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Andy. Thank you to Canterbury for putting these on. We're here on every match day. And thank you, everyone, for watching and listening. We'll catch you next Saturday. Cheers.
Cheers, Sean. Thank you.
Cheers. Bye.